Welcome back to the Financier Network to Season 1, Episode 2, talking about personal finance characteristics. Sorry I've been gone for so long, but I was busy getting married, so don't worry, we have more content coming about that. But today I wanted to talk about two essentials for successful personal finance. Have you ever wondered what kind of characteristics you need to have in order to be successful in your personal finances? This is something that came up for me, especially getting married recently. How can we be better in our personal finances so that we can better our family? Is it exceptional brilliance that gets you to better personal finance? Or maybe extraordinary talent? Or maybe it's just dumb luck? It's not going to be just dumb luck. I've spent the last 15 years fascinated by the idea of financial freedom, and that's part of the point of this channel. But how do you achieve it? How do we get there? The steps to get there have been capricious at best. It wasn't until recently that I realized I needed to practice better financial habits for myself if I ever want to get to a point of financial freedom, especially for my new family. There are certain characteristics that can help us achieve healthy personal finances. I have seen and experienced several different kinds. And the cool thing is, anyone can possess any one of these characteristics. Now, I have observed countless people, both personally and through different types of media, and there are two recurring traits that I have noticed that lead to a life of better personal finance habits, and in turn, financial freedom. That being said, let's dive in and talk about these two traits. Now, each trait is unique in its own right, with neither one of them necessarily holding more importance than the other. The only time that might be the case is maybe one you have a better hold of than the other. The first up is going to be financial discipline. Financial discipline, or just discipline itself, is defined as, in terms of what we're talking about here, training oneself to do something in a controlled and habitual way. The cool thing about discipline is it's not inherent or hereditary to people. It's a choice. You can decide to stick to a schedule. You can decide to get up early or go to bed early. You can decide to save money. You can decide to spend money. You can decide to launch that business and stay consistent with it, or not launch that business and stay on the couch. Acts of discipline are just decisions that are done consistently to the point they are controlled and become a habit. Financial discipline is no different than fitness discipline or academic discipline or any discipline you can think of. Finances are simply another area to practice discipline. So, what does financial discipline look like? Quite simply put, spend less than you earn. You could be making $300,000 per year. But if you were spending $301,000 per year, then you are not being disciplined and you definitely are not going to achieve financial freedom. It does not matter how much you make, though. Discipline, no matter your income, can take you from financial stress to financial clarity and peace in no time. What are some of the ways we can practice financial discipline? Here is a basic 7-step list to get you started. Number one, you want to create a budget. Now, I just got married, and in order to combine finances and get everything working the way that it needs to work, you kind of have to combine everything together in a relational way. My wife and I, before we got married, sat down for 7 straight hours to figure out how we were going to get this done. We figured out how much she was going to make and put in how much I was currently making, so that way we could get everything on the right page and at least know what we needed. We actually found out that both of us were going to need to make more money. And so that's what I started to work on personally, going to where I work now to get a raise or look at getting a new job. Luckily, in the end, it worked out for me. Now, you want to start your budget by tracking your income and expenses to understand where your money is going. Then you want to create a realistic budget that aligns with your financial goals. You need to stick to this budget and review it regularly to make adjustments as needed. Number two, you want to set financial goals. You want to define short term and long term goals. This will help you stay focused and motivated. Whether it's saving for a vacation or planning for retirement, having clear goals will encourage disciplined financial habits. One of the things that I do here is I invest a lot. That's planning for my future. Now, when I did my budget, looking at my goals, some of my goals, at least in the short term, had to change to pay for what we had budgeted in our monthly expenses. So keep that in mind as you budget. Some of your goals might have to shift and change, and that's okay. Number three, you want to pay yourself first, and this is critically important. You want to know that you're doing something for yourself in the short term. And what that looks like is making saving a priority and setting aside a portion of your income as soon as you receive it. Consider automating regular transfers to a savings account or an investment account to ensure consistent saving. I do this myself, and I'll make sure to include a link below to give you an idea of how I do some robo investing and some auto saving myself. Number four, you want to minimize unnecessary expenses. Differentiate between needs and wants. You want to cut back on discretionary spending and avoid impulse purchases. I know this can be really, really difficult to do sometimes, especially when you really want something. One of the things that I personally do is that if I really want something and I know it's not a necessity in my life, I like to at least give it a day, sleep on it for a night, and if I still want the thing the next day, if it's a really small purchase, I may go ahead and get it. If it's a really big purchase in the hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars, I might give it a week or even a month before I go through with the purchase. The reason being, I want to make sure it's something that I actually want. If I don't want it the next day or the next week or the next month, maybe I didn't really want it all that much and it was actually an impulse. So keep that in mind as you move forward with your purchases. Now, before making a purchase, ask yourself if it aligns with your financial goals and make sure that it's truly necessary. Number five is critically important and something that's very difficult, I think, especially in American culture. You want to avoid debt traps. Be cautious about credit cards and loans. Pay off your credit card balances in full each month to avoid interest charges. Now, if you want to be like me, and quite frankly, it's a little bit inefficient, but I can guarantee you I will never miss a credit card payment, is I check and pay my credit cards almost on a daily basis. Now that I'm married, that's changed a little bit. She told me it was a little bit excessive, and she's right. That's okay though. I'm going to get better, and hopefully I can eventually get to a point where I have my spending and budgeting down to a point where I can actually automate my credit card payments. If you have existing debts, you want to make sure to create a plan to pay them off systematically while avoiding new debt. Now, number six, you want to practice delayed gratification. I feel like this is something that's so difficult in today's culture and the way that we do things. I mean, you have Amazon, for crying out loud, that if you want something, you get it in a day or two. Well, at least you used to. After COVID, that hasn't quite been the same, but they're getting better again. You have information at your fingertips. You have investing opportunities at your fingertips. You can buy just about anything and get it almost instantaneously these days. Well, in personal finance, it doesn't really work that way. You have to work to gain money and then use that money wisely. And you want to make sure that you have a plan around it. Practicing delayed gratification is going to be critical if you want that plan to work out accordingly. Instead of making spontaneous purchases, practice delaying gratification around those purchases. Kind of like what I said before in regards to how I will look at making wanted purchases. Sometimes I'll take a day, maybe a week, maybe even a month, depending on how much it costs. You want to make sure you're giving yourself enough time to consider whether you really need or want the item. Often, you'll find that the impulse to buy fades away. Number 7, regularly review your finances. Take time to review your financial situation regularly. Track your progress towards your goals, assess your spending habits, and make any necessary adjustments to what your spending habits are. This habit will help you stay on track and make better financial decisions for yourself and for your family. Now remember, developing discipline takes time and effort. Stay committed to your financial goals and make small, consistent changes to your habits. Over time, you'll see the positive impact on your financial well being. And make sure you're not beating up on yourself. That's happened to me a lot, and I want to make sure that you're not doing it because it can set you back even more. Secondly, we have financial honesty. Financial honesty is not only about being truthful with others, but also being truthful and honest with yourself when it comes to your financial habits and decisions. You want to make sure you are being honest with yourself when it comes to how you handle your finances and the actions you are taking to better your finances. Not being honest with yourself or others you may have involved, such as your spouse or a brother or a sister or a mom or a dad or whoever it is, can make your finances much more stressful. Now, here are some key points to expand upon regarding honest personal finance. Number 1 is understanding the concept of financial honesty. Financial honesty involves acknowledging and accepting your financial situation without denial or deception. It means being transparent with your loved ones about your financial standing, whether it's sharing your income, your expenses, or even your debts. Financial honesty also includes being truthful with yourself about your spending patterns, budgeting habits, and your financial goals. Number 2, you want to make sure you're building trust in personal relationships. Being financially honest with your partner, your family members, or close friends can foster trust and strengthen relationships. You want to make sure that in your financial journey that you're including accountability as part of it. And that's why you want to be in a trusting personal relationship with someone, even if that someone is your own self. You want to openly discuss financial matters that can help avoid misunderstandings, conflicts, and surprises later on. And this is where accountability to someone else outside yourself could be critically important for you. Sharing financial goals and working together towards them promotes a sense of unity and cooperation in achieving mutual aspirations. And teamwork really can make the dream work in this instance. Now, coinciding with that is number 3, seeking support and guidance. Financial honesty includes recognizing when you need help or guidance with your finances. It's important to reach out to financial professionals. This channel is not financial advice, but there are financial advisors and credit counselors out there that can help you with different aspects of your finances. These financial advisors and credit counselors can provide expert advice tailored to your situation. Now, being honest with yourself about your limitations can empower you to seek assistance and make informed decisions. So make sure that the honesty is getting you to a point where you can seek help where you may be weak. That's okay. Keep moving forward. Number 4, you want to make sure you're assessing your financial habits. Practice self-reflection to understand your spending habits, such as impulse buying or overspending on certain categories. Maybe you like to eat out a lot. Maybe you love that Starbucks coffee. And maybe it's time to cut back on that. Being honest about your weaknesses allows you to address them and make positive changes. Regularly review your budget, analyze your expenses, and identify areas where you can cut back or make improvements. Number 5, embracing that accountability. Financial honesty involves holding yourself accountable for your financial choices and actions. Having someone else involved can make this even better for yourself. Take ownership of your financial mistakes or setbacks and use them as learning opportunities. Setting measurable goals and tracking your progress helps you to stay accountable to yourself and motivates you to continue practicing financial discipline. And if you have somebody else involved, it makes it easier for yourself to look to somebody else to help you along the way, and you don't have to feel alone. Number six, overcoming shame and stigma. This is something that I've personally struggled with, and I hope it's something that you don't have to struggle with if you can put these into practice. Many people can feel ashamed or embarrassed about their financial situations, leading to avoidance or dishonesty. You want to recognize that everyone faces financial challenges at some point, and there's no shame in seeking assistance or making necessary changes. One thing that can get to me personally is the idea of provision. You want to make sure that you're providing for your family and yourself. And if you're not doing that properly, it can really bring shame and some sort of stigma that you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Overcoming the stigma associated with financial difficulties allows you to take control of your finances and work towards a more secure future. And who wouldn't want that? And that's what we're trying to do here. By practicing financial discipline and honesty, you can cultivate a healthier relationship with your money, strengthen your personal relationships, and set yourself on a path to financial well being. Now remember, it's never too late to be honest with yourself and make positive changes for a better financial future. Thanks for watching today's episode. Remember to like, share, and comment. In the comments, please let me know how I can do better. Let me know how I can improve. Let me know of topics you would like me to discuss. And remember, we're always trying to simplify, inform, and empower. And I hope this video has done that for you on the idea of the essential characteristics in financial discipline and financial honesty to make your financial future better. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next episode.